Oh, hi, welcome to KBS Labs. Today we're going to be talking about the RAP4 Tacamo DMAG conversion kit, here shown on the Tippmann X-7 Phenom. You may have noticed a few bugs or issues with your DMAG kit out of the box, and today we're going to be talking about some of those issues, as well as some of the possible solutions that you might want to try before taking your DMAG out onto the field. So, let's get into it. The first item on our list is a purely aesthetic one. You'll notice that the body and magwell and everything else on the Tacamo kit are a nice flat black color, but the magazine has this sort of shiny, smooth, cheap texture. If I hold it up and turn it a little bit, you should be able to see on the camera that it's actually quite shiny, and we have this sort of weird gray streak running down it left over from the manufacturing process. Again, contributes to sort of a cheap appearance. If you want your magazines to go from looking like this to looking more like this, with a weathered appearance, the solution is quite simple. All you need is a little bit of 00 steel wool. Take your steel wool, which is 00 is a very fine steel wool, by the way. Take your fine steel wool, scrub your magazines, get in all the nooks and crannies, and before you know it, you'll go from shiny black to matte black. And that matte black fits the overall color and appearance of the rest of the marker much better. Be sure not to overdo it, or your magazine will start to turn more gray than black, and then you'll have the exact opposite problem. And vacuum afterwards, because steel filings are not good for your health. The second item is something that a lot of people on the web have been talking about, and that is that the DMAGs are actually quite difficult to insert into the magwell such that they catch. On the old style magazines with the collars that stuck up, or a mil-seg magazine, inserting it just enough so that the magazine spring tripped would be enough to get it to stick into place. Now I'm not touching the magazine release here, and I can still pull the magazines out. Right? Now Omar Macy from RAP4 addressed this in a video, saying what you need to do with your DMAGs is smack them into place. Now it's in there nice and tight, but that in itself is not a problem. What is a problem is what this does to the cyclone port cover on the other side of the marker. You'll see here that the port cover has popped away from the side of the marker. I can actually wedge a screwdriver here in between the cyclone port cover and the side of the conversion kit. If I take out the magazine here now and push this back into place, you can see that it sits a little bit more flush against the side. It still sticks out a bit, but I can't wedge a screwdriver in here anymore. It's actually covering the cyclone port. Again, if I hit this again, smack it into place, you can see the cover is popped out. Now you might say, oh, that's not a big deal, it's just the cyclone port cover popping out. But what's actually happening is that the magazines are impacting the little fins on the bottom of the cyclone port cover that hold it in place. They stick down inside the magwell. We discovered this because you can see on the edge of this magazine a little bit of damage. There's sort of a deformed bit of plastic here. And that's how we knew it was hitting something inside the magwell. What that also does here, if you come back into the magnifying glass, is deform the place here, this cutout, where the magazine catch actually sticks into the magazine. And this happens because the magazine isn't actually being allowed to seat fully, and it's getting all this pressure on this top edge. The plastic on these magazines is quite soft and cheap, so you get that. And that's a problem because with some of the magazines we used, it actually got to the point where the magazine would no longer stick in the magwell. It couldn't lock at all. So we're going to show you what it is about the cyclone port cover that causes this and how to fix it. Let's take a closer look at this cyclone port cover problem. So, you'll see here the stock cyclone port cover has these flat fins here that stick down into the magwell. What's happening is that the magazine comes into the magwell and impacts this forward fin on the back corner here. That's what causes the damage, knocks this port cover out of place, and eventually leads to the deformation of this magazine catch cutout here. It's also what makes it so difficult to get the mags to lock in, why you need to smack them so hard. The solution to this is quite simple, as we mentioned, and involves simply cutting away a portion of the forward fin. If I show this to you on a nice white background here, I'll give you a straight edge. Now the measurements here are not important, but you can see that we've cut away part of this forward fin. And that's just enough so that when the magazine comes into the mag well, it doesn't hit the cyclone port cover. So, if we put everything back together now, I'll put the modified cyclone port cover into the receiver, put our mag well back together, get the pin in. So now, with the modified port cover, all I need to do to get a mag to catch is push. So now I'm not touching the magazine release, can't pull it out, right? And I didn't need to smack it. Just like that. If you look at the other side, you'll notice the port cover has not popped out of place, even though we have our mag perfectly seated. Right? There's no edge here at all. Can't wedge my screwdriver in there. And even if I smack the mag, the port cover still doesn't pop out of place. So this prevents all that damage we were talking about earlier and removes this need for you to smack your mags in to get them to lock. I know that's a big complaint that everyone's been having about this kit, and that's the easy solution to it that you can do in 5 minutes with nothing but an X-Acto knife. Right, so here's a little guide for how to do this fin mod that we've just been showing you. All you need to do is take a pencil and go inside your empty mag well and find this little metal mag release peg here. Take your pencil, go all the way down the side of it to where you find the fins, and just make a mark right up against the edge of the spring release on top of the fin here. When you take your mag well apart and take the port cover out, you'll see the pencil mark here, and all you need to do is cut this little section behind the mark and up a little bit. So on ours, we did about 1.6 millimeters was what this worked out to, but a little bit of trial and error will get your kit functioning just right. Honestly, we're amazed that RAP4 didn't catch this themselves, especially when this whole smacking of the mags thing has been such a big deal, and when the plastic on the mags is so soft and damaged so easily. It's kind of shocking that this was not a part of the original design. Anyways, but there you go, 5 minutes and an X-Acto knife and all your problems are solved. The third item is something else that a lot of people have been talking about, and that is that the magazine release lever has a tendency to get jammed when you eject a magazine. So I'm pushing on the lever, and you'll notice that it just immediately swings down and gets itself hung up on the mag well itself. Now obviously when it's like this, there's no way for a magazine to get in there. So if you've just ejected a mag and you're trying to replace it in the middle of a game, you're going to have some problems. Item number 4 has to do with the mag well again, but this time on the other side. Imagine I'm holding the marker properly here. In order to release the mags, I have to kind of dig my finger into the cutout for this mag release button, because the button sits flush with the outside of the mag well here. Now some people online have been complaining about that because it is kind of awkward to do. So we have a solution to that. That doesn't require anything really fancy. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. All that you'll need for this multi-purpose mod is a washer and an O-ring about 1.9 millimeters thick. This washer here is round, but what you're going to need to do actually is cut your washer down on the sides so that it's flat and matches the oblong shape of the mag release button that you can see here. You may wonder how this comes apart in the first place because you can't unscrew it from this side. So we've removed the mag well. What you do is push up until you can rotate it, and then just simply start unscrewing the lever from this side, just like that, and it just spins right out and comes out, just like that. Be careful you don't lose your other parts from the other side here. There's a spring in the button there. So, to put it all together, you're going to take your spring, put it on the peg for the mag release arm, put your washer on top of that, put your O-ring on top of that, and then thread the whole thing together with your mag release button. And of course this would all be inside the mag well itself. This is what it was going to look like. So we're going to put it all back together right now and show you how it works. So now we've reassembled the mag well and all its parts. You can see that the mag release button sticks out a little bit more. Put it under the light here so you can see it better. See now when I touch it with my finger naturally stops when the button is pressed flush with the edge of the mag well itself. and that distance is just enough to release the magazines, but not enough to cause this mag release arm to actually become jammed. So simply by bringing this button out a little bit, what we've basically done is allowed you to tighten down the mag release arm and the button a little bit more, and it prevents this arm from getting jammed. So that simple mod with an O-ring and a washer kills two birds with one stone. We'll put it back on the marker now and show you how the whole thing works, and we'll wrap up with a little summary of everything we've talked about. Well, that just about concludes our look at the DMAG conversion kit for the Tippmann X-7 Phenom by RAP4. What did we do? We took the unrealistic shine off these magazines with nothing but a bit of fine steel wool and some elbow grease. We also removed the need for you to smash your magazines into the mag well with nothing but a pencil and an X-Acto knife. And we removed this problem of the mag release arm jamming on the mag well and made the button more user-friendly with nothing but a washer, an O-ring, and a grinder. Overall, we're a little disappointed that we even had to make this video. These problems should never have existed in the first place. The solutions are so simple, they should have been caught by the manufacturer. However, we hope that you've seen it before you take your DMAG kit onto the field yourself and do any damage. If you liked the video, please be sure to like and subscribe and share with your friends. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this is KBS Labs signing off.